I get asked this question a lot. What is the best gas blowback rifle to get into? What do you recommend, Boaz, for a gas blowback rifle? Well, generally when people ask me that, I kind of draw out the conversation because I am incredibly lonely and it's good to talk to someone every once in a while. But if I had to really mince my words and just get down to the brass tacks, the answer is obvious. There is one true king of gas blowback rifles right now on the airsoft market today, and that is going to be the Tokyo Marui MWS. What's going on, Mail Gang? Boaz here, and today we're going to be talking about the king of gas blowback airsoft rifles, and that is going to be the Tokyo Marui MWS. Now, for quite a long time in the airsoft scene, gas blowback rifle users have been kind of a niche, and surprisingly, in today's day and age, it's kind of making a resurgence in the airsoft community. Tokyo Marui has gone ahead and released their own full gas blowback rifle called the MWS. Now, the MWS stands for Modular Weapon System. Why did they decide to call it that? I don't know. That's just the name that they went with. The MWS was more of like a wider platform for Tokyo Marui to release their full gas blowback rifles, because if you've been paying attention to Tokyo Marui, they've released things in addition to their MWS M4, they've released MWS AKs, as well as the MWS Type 89 assault rifle as well. Now, you have to understand that Tokyo Marui is no stranger to gas blowback guns. In fact, they've been making probably some of the best gas blowback pistols that have completely changed and shaped airsoft history as we know it today, with things like their High Kappa, their G series, and they've even released their own version of the gas blowback MP7, which was an SMG. But when it came to a full-fledged gas blowback rifle like this MWS M4, it was released at a very interesting time because it had to compete against a lot of other more well-known, more well-established, more well-respected gas blowback rifles on the market today. We're talking things from like ViperTech and VFC and WeTech and KWA. These are all some really good names that Tokyo Marui kind of had to compete with because they're kind of late to the party. There were tons of other gas blowback users out there that have already invested tons of time and money into developing their gas blowback rifles to where they are today, and Tokyo Marui kind of shook up the market overnight. How did Tokyo Marui shake up the gas blowback airsoft market overnight? Well, they're Tokyo Marui. Pretty much everything that they release either establishes a standard within the entire airsoft industry, or B, completely revolutionizes it and causes a paradigm shift within the airsoft market. That's just how great Tokyo Marui is, and it makes sense because they're kind of the founders of modern day airsoft that we enjoy today. So one thing that Tokyo Marui did unveil to us with their MWS back in 2015 was their ZET system. So with the ZET system, what they promised the airsoft market was that they're going to give consistent, reliable performance, and it's going to be more durable in the long run, and most importantly, going to have a very consistent bolt locking ability. And of course, the most important part about the MWS is that when it rolled out, everything inside was TM standard. Okay, I don't know if you got that joke, but Tokyo Marui, yes, they developed everything here in-house. So technically, yes, everything here is TM standard, but we're gonna get to that in a second. But they've rolled out a few different models of the MWS right out the gate for us to enjoy. So we're going to be taking a look at some of them today. The first is going to be the CQBR. This is probably one of my personal favorites to roll out because it already comes out of the box with a shortened 10.5-inch outer barrel. Next up here is probably going to be one of the earlier models of the MWS to roll out. This is the M4 carbine model. This is actually the exact same model that I used to create my own custom MWS build from, but it has that 14.5-inch outer barrel. It has the nice iconic triangle sight, flip up minimalist sight here on the rear, and a nice quad rail for you to attach basic accessories onto. The next model we're going to be taking a look at here is going to be the MWS M4A1. Now this is as basic as it gets. It has the fat polymer clamshell handguard, it has a 14.5-inch outer barrel, it has the triangle sight, it has a full carrying handle. At this point, Tokyo Marui, just make a full Car 15. This is a very interesting model here from Tokyo Marui. This is the MTR, or the multi-tactical rifle. I don't know, don't look at me, man. I don't come up with the names here. Okay, but this is a very big departure from all their previous models because it definitely looks a lot more like your traditional competition style AR. You have a full 16-inch barrel here that's fluted, mind you, to make it look extra fancy, along with their own in-house design M-LOK rail that's very smooth and sleek. No iron sights out of the box. Why? Because you're supposed to be using an optic with this guy. You get a ton of these really fancy little gold accents here and there to, I don't know, let people know that you dropped like $700 on an airsoft gun. And the stock over here, which is definitely more of that minimalist style stock, very small and compact. But to sweeten the deal a bit, they've even included a golden bolt over here as well, and they've even gone ahead and completely removed the forward assist. I mean, there is a space here for it, but they completely plugged it up because you're not gonna need a forward assist when you're in competition, okay? And it even comes with this really crazy, cool, interesting 20-round magazine, which you usually don't see on any of their other models out there. One unique thing about the Tokyo Marui MWS is the fact that they'll Cerakote a lot of the components here on the airsoft gun. Now, this is very different from what a lot of other companies have been doing over the years. A lot of times they'll either go with anodizing or they'll just straight up paint the raw metal on their airsoft guns, and that's fine, but Tokyo Marui has went the extra step to give us a more durable finish on the airsoft gun itself. I mean, look at the receiver here. It looks absolutely gorgeous, especially in person. It's a pretty subtle off black color that makes it feel like it's kind of like that Parkerized finish that you get on a lot of real steel AR-15s. Now, this is pretty surprising because Tokyo Marui for a very long time, they've been making a lot of their airsoft guns out of plastic, and that's because of the local laws in Japan. So in order for them to legally manufacture airsoft guns, a lot of their airsoft guns had to be made out of plastic, but not with the MWS. Pretty much everything here that needs to be metal is made out of metal, and that's really good to see from Tokyo Marui. I believe it has to do something with the laws changing over the years in Japan. I don't know what Tokyo Marui does when it comes to engineering their internal components, because Tokyo Marui, they just have a really big reputation for just that Japanese space magic. I have no idea what they're doing, but they perform really, really well. Now, when it comes to gas efficiency, you're like with the stock factory Tokyo Marui magazine on a full fill of green gas, you can easily get 2.5 mags of BBs on a single fill of green gas when you're shooting in semi-auto. Now, when it comes to the range and the accuracy, out of the box, I would say it's pretty freaking stellar. But when it comes to the recoil of the MWS, I would definitely say it is on the weaker side. It's not the heaviest kicking or the most realistic recoil you can get from a gas blowback rifle, but I will say it is remarkably snappy and responsive. We're gonna interrupt this video right now to let you guys know that YouTube is actively suppressing airsoft content on its platform. It's not just us here at Airsoft GI, but other airsoft content creators out there on YouTube are actively being suppressed as well. And the thing is, we do need your help, and the best way to help us is
subscribe. You gotta subscribe. You hear me? Subscribe. You want to see more of me? You want to see more of Boaz, Isaiah? Subscribe. You want this good airsoft content? You gotta subscribe. Give us a thumbs up while you're at it, since you're down there already, and make sure you comment on how we're doing so far. We'll see you.
Yeah, what he said. The Tokyo Marui MWS was not designed to run with green gas. Green gas is too powerful for these guns, and in theory, yes, you can run your MWS for quite some time using standard power green gas, but the fact of the matter is that it's going to wear the parts down faster, and you might run into some issues. For me personally, when I was running my MWS completely bone stock, was that I would get something called bolt bounce, where the bolt will travel back into the buffer tube and then shoot back forward, but it had too much force applied to it, so it would kind of rattle back and forth because the recoil spring and the buffer and the bolt just wasn't designed for you to use a higher pressure gas like green gas. So if you're gonna run it completely stock, I'll recommend something like this Puff Dyno. I believe this is the Japanese model version where it's specifically designed to run with Tokyo Marui gas blowback airsoft guns. Whether you're running plastic pistol slides or if you're running something like the MWS, it's made for those Japanese airsoft guns. And the reason why is because they need to be shooting at lower muzzle velocities, and with that reduced pressure, it's going to prolong the life of your parts. But if you want to run green gas on your MWS, what do you have to do? All right, so you want to run green gas in your Tokyo Marui MWS like all the cool kids do. Well, you're gonna have to do some reinforcing and upgrading to your MWS to handle the increased pressure. Lucky for you, because this is a Tokyo Marui airsoft guns, tons of other aftermarket airsoft companies are gonna be making a plethora of aftermarket parts to ensure that you get the best performance possible out of your MWS. That's probably one of the benefits of running a Tokyo Marui MWS, is that there's just gonna be a ton of aftermarket parts for it. But the first thing that you're gonna need is gonna be within your bolt system. So now with the bolt itself, this is a stock Tokyo Marui bolt carrier group, but I've had to add a stronger reinforced nozzle set kit over here. Not only that, the nozzle return spring also needs to be stronger and stiffer so that way it can, again, withstand the pressures of green gas. And additionally, you don't have to do this, but it just so that you get a smoother cycling time, I've also opted to get these aftermarket rollers on the end of my bolt carrier group to make sure that my bolt carrier glides effortlessly within my upper receiver. The second thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to upgrade your recoil spring, your buffer spring, and your buffer. You're gonna need a heavier buffer. That is for sure, because the original MWS buffer is made out of plastic and it's just not enough mass to prevent bolt bounce, especially with higher pressure gas. And of course, the recoil spring itself needs to be stronger as well, because the stock recoil spring is pretty weak. But lucky for you, there are plenty of aftermarket buffers and buffer springs available for you on the aftermarket. And finally, the last thing you're gonna have to do actually is you're gonna have to replace the buffer tube. This is one thing that I feel like gets overlooked a lot because it doesn't really seem like a big deal, but the buffer tube itself out of the factory is a two-piece system, meaning that the tube itself is one piece and then the end, the cap, is a separate piece. Now, the reason why this is kind of a bad thing, especially when you run green gas, is that the buffer and the buffer spring are just gonna be slamming back and forth a lot harder than intended. So the back cap of the buffer, which is made out of plastic, will eventually yeet itself out of the gun, and we don't want that. So you have to make sure that you source yourself a full metal one-piece buffer tube. With that all being said, gas blowback rifles, customizing them, tuning them, upgrading them is more of an art than a science. There's a lot of things that you have to do when it comes to fine-tuning your gas blowback rifle. Me, I'm too much of a chungo to really care about that, so I just want to mitigate bolt bounce, and I just want this guy to cycle all 35 rounds out of my magazine and have it locked back consistently every time. And I feel like, at least with the basic upgrades I've done to my MWS, it does that just fine, because everything else about the MWS is, quite honestly, probably some of the best design features I've seen in gas blowback rifles in my life. And I've owned quite a few of different gas blowback rifles over my time while playing airsoft. It's honestly no big surprise that the airsoft community and the airsoft industry as a whole were quick to jump on the MWS bandwagon with how well it performs. Honestly, there's not very many airsoft gas blowback rifles that can hold up and perform as well and as consistently as the MWS. And even though that there are a lot of other really good platforms out there, I honestly think that the MWS is gonna be the new standard when it comes to gas blowback rifles. And I think that the MWS is going to help create, I guess you would say, a renaissance in gas blowback technology in Airsoft in the coming years. I definitely predict that a lot of other companies are going to be either improving upon the MWS system or cloning it and making it more accessible to the wider Airsoft public. Thank you guys so much for sticking around and checking out our ode, our love letter to the Tokyo Marui MWS. I'm honestly really hopeful and optimistic for the future of gas blowback technology because let's face it, running AEGs all day in Airsoft, it gets boring after a while, and I think a lot of players are starting to realize how fun it is to run gas blowback airsoft guns, especially gas blowback rifles. And I'm excited to see what the future holds for the MWS platform. And I'm pretty sure that there's going to be lots of other companies either cloning or giving more upgrade compatibility for the MWS. But let us know what you think in the comments down below. Is the MWS something that you're kind of hoping will take over the scene in the US? Or do you think the AEG is going to continue to run supreme in the United States? Let us know in the comments. But if you like what you see, please make sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and ring that bell icon to get notified every time we upload a new video. The best way to support the channel directly is to go to airsoftgi.com for all your airsoft needs, whether you're looking at investing into an MWS gas blowback rifle, or if you need to get some consumables like green gas or BBs, make sure to head on over to airsoftgi.com because that supports us directly and we appreciate it. So, till next time, it's Boaz. We'll catch you next time, Mayo Gang.